There it is.
Figure it out.
I didn't click the right one. Alright, it's up now. Hi guys.
Okay.
You saying hi guys too? What? Where's your cup? We couldn't figure out how to get the camera working, but we got it now. Thanks for sticking around with us. Let me share this on Facebook.
Yeah, we got it.
Hi.
And Lily says hi too.
She said hi guys when we first started. How's you guys this week been going? Are you getting down? Okay. Hi Rachel. Hi Crystal. Lily, say hi to Crystal. No? Okay. You can't see her?
She's just like, whatever.
Oh, I was supposed to remind Regina. Let me send it to her.
So how we
So Chris, I was very passionate about Chris's mess because I hate to see somebody be mistreated like that.
yeah, like I don't understand Chris's motive as far as wanting to be on this show and wanting to be married at first sight.
Yeah, it was just a lot of things about Chris were very, very cringy. Chris and his daddy. Hey, click that link that I just sent you.
Oh,
Okay. Bye. I'm sorry you're missing her grow up, Rachel.
yeah.
We might have to just come visit y'all. Break our
At a social distance.
look, break our little bubble. So last night, a guy that we went to college with found Chris's mom's Twitter page. And let me tell y'all, she was going off on people for calling her trash and her son and apparently her ex-husband because she wanted everybody to know that she's not with Chris Sr. anymore.
I think one of the things that's been going on, the death threats to him, I think that's a little bit too far.
I mean, for people to get involved that are not involved,
yeah, like
the death threats are a bit much.
You definitely feel bad for Paige, but like saying like you should die, like no, he shouldn't. He's a bad, like he has a bad mindset or thinking about this completely wrong. So I mean, he could be better in that sense, but you know.
You're waving at Daddy.
Hey. This girl here. I guess from this, how we gonna like what we
just talk about it.
I mean, I done said my piece. What y'all got, man?
Like, I was looking at the comments.
What
like,
y'all got,
we
man?
did have one request for us to talk about on live. Let me find or I said we would talk about it on live. How we would feel if Lily decided that she wanted to do something like Married at First Sight.
I don't think it's a surprise in regards to how Chris is acting. I think it's more of a surprise that experts didn't pick up. Right.
If they interview, what did you say, 70,000 people?
Yeah, something like that.
If they interview 70,000 people, you just can't make me believe that Chris was like one of the people that was most ready to be married.
Yeah, like as a parent, I never would have came on the show and would have been like What she said.
But to be on topic, the experts had to see the red flags that we all see or do better checks. It's not fair to play with someone's feelings, with people's feelings for ratings. She could have had some real trauma from this. She definitely looks like she had some real trauma from it. Just like going into like watching the Unfiltered, she is definitely like not okay. The fact that his parents knew he was previously engaged a month before and they still came on the show and act like nothing happened and it wasn't a big deal that he was marrying somebody else. Absolutely. Like, that is crazy.
I think that's cool. That's how that works.
Yeah. Yeah, so one of my cousins who's actually in here right now as well, she's in a Married at First Sight group on Facebook.
Hey, cousin.
And Chris has come into the group and said that people have been giving him death threats. Like, I think she said he lost his grandmother, and like people were giving death threats. Like, he was like basically spilling what all has happened in his life and correlating things that weren't necessarily correlated, because I don't know how the death threat gets you to my grandma died. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Kimberly said Chris and Vincent were recruited by production. I can see that.
I think Vincent and Brianna's marriage is pretty good.
I think so. We always are gonna have women that would go and want to do this. Oh, his grandfather died. You always have women that would like want to do shows like this, because I mean, like I said on our podcast once before, I've done a dating show. I'm obviously not getting married at first sight, but I've done a dating show before.
Oh.
And it's like women are more apt to go about doing things like that, and you would have to go find guys to do it.
Look, I'm answering the comments as they come. Like, yeah, nah.
That's what time it is, ma'am.
Nah, I don't think he was really crying. He was just. I think Chris was made for TV.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Crystal, are you laughing at Lily?
I think he was just made for TV, man. Let's see. Why she leave me with this? Oh, okay. I ain't know Vincent. I ain't know they had got recruited to be on the show. I think that's pretty bad. Like, it does make sense, but
That's what I was saying about
you know,
women being more apt to like try to jump in and do it, but men wouldn't.
But
no. To answer the question about Chris crying, I don't think those tears are real, and I honestly believe that panic attack was because that's when he found out that he had a baby on the way. I think it was in that very moment. Like, he went downstairs. She had probably been calling his phone all night, and then he answered, found that out, and he had a mini panic attack.
I don't think that was it.
We'll find out.
Now, yeah, we'll definitely find out. I think that it was I got married. I had sex with this girl twice, and I don't like her.
But
I don't think she's cute. So,
just to be completely honest, men have had sex with women that they didn't completely like, and it did not cause a panic attack in the end. You get divorced and you move on.
But like, the thing is like, I feel like he just in this thing didn't like this girl. Now he feels like he's stuck because he's like, I don't want to get divorced. And then, he having this quote unquote a panic attack.
That's a good point.
That is a good point, because they were not on the show, like on the meeting or anything. They wasn't even showed in the wedding, were they? Mm-hmm. They were in the wedding. I mean, like after they got married and stuff like that, because he didn't sit down and talk to them at the wedding neither, did he? Yeah.
No, her friend probably mentioned something to her mom.
Yeah, because she talked to her friends. No. Yeah, he talked to her friends. I just, oh man, I don't know, man. I feel like this season is gonna be tainted because the show is enjoyable. The idea of everything of what they're doing is kind of, it's out there, but it's kind of cool,
right?
But I just think this season kind of like it's gonna change how like what they're thinking about with people. Like I truly would like to understand like from the experts part perspective, like what was it that they really saw, and was it that, and did they have anything like any like was it something they was like, man, I don't know if we should do this.
There has to be something like that they decided was a quote unquote red flag. I think Vincent and Brianna are not going to work because he's working a lot, and the reason why I think he has to work a lot is to pay his bills and sustain his life, and also she makes more. It just depends. Like, I have a really good friend who's a doctor, and she always dates men that make less than her, but she doesn't have an issue with dating men that make less than her. So it just depends on what Brianna is willing to do. Like, I remember when my stepdad started his business, of course he was making less than my mom, and now my mom doesn't have to work because he takes care of everything. So it just honestly depends. How did he have a panic attack without the cameras? That is a great question. It must have been before production showed up. Ma'am, I don't know what you're trying to do.
Ratchetry. Exactly.
What did you say? I don't think so. Their recruiting seems to have regressed since the Brandon and Michael season. I think they were trying to gain a greater audience by increasing the label of ratchetry.
I mean, that could be a way, a direction that they wanted to go, but I don't think for the type of show that they have, I don't think that was necessary.
Yeah. Lily.
They should have about that.
Sorry, guys. Lily's having a slight meltdown. So, yeah, I don't know how production missed the panic attack, because unless he went downstairs before they showed up, they should have caught everything. Just, it is what it is. Seemed like it got completely quiet once the two of them disappeared, or at least the little one disappeared. Regina, I know you can hear me. Just text me your comments and I'll read them out loud since you said you can't comment. Brandon was interesting. I think that there had to have been a lot of things to go on with him that we could not see. And so not being able to see everything, it kind of messes up things. My child is okay, but thank you for being concerned.
Right.
Someone said, maybe stop YouTube and pay some attention to your children. You don't have to say anything.
Why are they here?
I don't know. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think it was a panic attack. Well, let me not say I don't think it was a panic attack. It could have been a panic attack, but all signs lead to he found out that day that he was going to be a dad. That's honestly what I believe. You know, it is what it is. I don't have to have any comebacks for anything. It's just, block and let's move on. That's a really great point too. Production is having you would think that production would have someone around that would essentially be down the hall that could come in. Because I know when they first wake up in the morning, those people are recording themselves. They're always like their camera phones or whatever. And so since they're recording themselves, they are they're just going to show whatever they feel like showing. And they got Paige like 2 hours after the fact. But it is what that is too. Let's see. He could have said, I am having a moment. I'm going to need an hour of space. That's what mature people do. Also, as a believer, that's not loving your wife as the Bible calls you to do. True. I mean, in a marriage, you go through things that are not necessarily going to directly impact the other person that you're in the relationship with. And it's very much so okay to say, hey, I need a minute to get myself together. Let me just step away. Let's see. My cousin texted me. She said, for starters, I can't stand Chris. And yep, he found out about his baby and tried to divert with those Oscar performance tears. I don't honestly believe there were any tears. Yeah, I think they're probably going to hold off the baby thing to episode 6. Like, we'll get to the honeymoon. We'll have a great first day of honeymoon. And then we'll end off the episode with her finding out. That'll be the way to drag it along for another episode. Are you okay now? So everybody's pretty much said they should have had somebody on production to be there for issues in the morning. And I know that usually when we see them in the morning, when they first get up, it's their cameras recording it.
Yeah.
Kind of like the couples cam type situation.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's nothing. Now, going back to that question that we got that I told someone we were answering live, they said, how would we feel if, number one, Lily decided to do a show like Married at First Sight? And number two, if she married someone like Chris?
I'd probably be mad. I would probably, ultimately, I'd say it's up to you. It's up to her. That's nasty. I would say it's up to her, to do that. And if it was somebody like Chris, I would just be like, I would be truthful to her. Like, I would tell her what I think, and I would be truthful to her. I'm finna leave you by yourself.
Me?
Yo, I'm gonna take her to watch this.
No, just put it right there.
Okay.
Here. Chris and the fake tears twice. What was the second time he gave fake tears? The first, I remember the one with what was the first one? Oh, just him sitting down saying that he had a panic attack. Thank you. They said Lily's cute. You were Paige's friend. Would you have told her what she said at the wedding? They should have warned her. That would have absolutely been a conversation that we had. Like, that would have been a pull to the side conversation. As well. There should have been a pull to the side conversation. Be like, hey girl, like, this is what he said. But I could get it because Paige is a person that seems like she's in love with the idea of love. So with her being in love with the idea of love, she's definitely going to try to put everything into it. And I think that she had sex with him on her wedding night because, I mean, granted, when they got married, we hadn't seen Karen on the show yet, but she didn't want to essentially be a Karen who was putting up all these barriers to why we can't do this, why we can't do that. She's just like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm all in. And see where it left her. Love your recaps. I believe something seriously wrong with Chris based solely off the weird, my chest is big comment. Delusional and a weirdo. He is delusional. Wow, her face on her filter was heartbreaking. The second pretend crying was after he talked to his parents about them having sex. Oh yeah, like I thought that was I guess maybe he didn't know that his dad had said anything to Paige about them having sex, but literally just 12 hours before this, your dad was telling your wife, hey, you should have sex with her pretty much every chance you get, and then now don't talk to my parents about sex. Just a little awkward. Did you see the new premiere of Married at First Sight? No. A man feeling like he can go from dislike or stay mutual after having sex with a woman. So I understand Chris's logic. I do wish Chris waited like he originally planned. I think he definitely should have waited. I think that would have been good for everybody involved. I don't think I'd wait for 2 hours on a breakfast menu. I think she honestly thought something had happened because she said she was calling his phone and he wasn't answering. So I don't know. I would have gone over to my friend immediately, like hand her a note or send her a text to avoid embarrassment. Absolutely to the text. I think Paige's friends didn't want to be Debbie Downers and didn't want to dampen the moment. I get it, but they really could have said something, anything.
Her friends are trash.
I'm not going to say her friends are trash as much as I'm saying Chris and his family
are trash. They had a trash moment.
They did have a trash moment. I wonder what made her be intimate twice. There were so many red flags from the reception. There were so many red flags in the first few minutes of them talking to each other. Like that one scene with them having their champagne was like red flag central. Like, I got a tattoo. It was my ex-girlfriend's name. I covered it up because I was like, I'm getting into this with you. What else was it? We just broke up. Here's another thing about my ex-girlfriend. She had a dog. It was too much. Chris has a group of enablers around him. Are we doing spoilers or other rumors? If you have them, I'll take them. I'm going to be completely honest. Tommy doesn't want to know, so I guess I'm going to tell him to cover his ears. I'll be completely honest. I have not looked at any spoilers or rumors. The only things that I've seen are things that people have put out there. Like, I was scrolling YouTube the other day, or not the other day, about 2 weeks ago, and I saw the video of his his proposal. So that was one thing that, I mean, it wasn't a show spoiler, but it was definitely letting us see everyone that had come over to the engagement or didn't know that there was an engagement and showed up for the dinner that happened to be an engagement. Chris should be kicked off the show and out of Atlanta. Her friends were trying to protect her, but should have stepped in to really protect their friend from a stranger.
Yeah, as a friend, I would be like, I don't know about this one. You married, but you know.
Chris is not trash, nor is his family. Chris just has no filter and can't read a room. I disagree. I could see you saying that he can't read a room because he absolutely cannot. But for his mother's immediate gut reaction when she said that we had sex last night and he said he didn't like me was for her to say, was he drinking? I don't think that was a non-trash comment. Chris is a poser. He pretends to be something he's not. I feel like Paige ignored her own intuition. He's got to stop with the heavenly mindset and start using real wisdom and discernment. You got it.
Can't say it better.
Yay, you finally can comment, Regina. Also, he has never said she really liked him. I feel like she is also immature and has accomplished a lot and wanted a husband, which makes them a poor combination.
Yeah.
That's something that is hard to like see happen because people think that you have to get married by a certain age. And if you don't, then it means something. And it doesn't mean anything outside of the fact that you didn't get married by a certain age. There's also a video of his first fiance on YouTube discussing their broken engagement. Everybody trying to get their 15 minutes of fame. Did she give a real reason for their broken engagement? Because she was with him long enough to be engaged, so, and accept the engagement. She may not have listened if her friends told her, especially if she believes in love and wants to be married. She probably wouldn't, because her brother told her she wasn't ready to be married, and she kind of told him, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They were drinking at the wedding, so the mother had reason to bring it up. Then the dad corrected the mother. I'm confused. Do they not put hotel menus and rooms on the TV?
We ain't just gonna go past Cliff.
What did Cliff say?
I'm saying go back.
I'm going back.
They were drinking. It's like you ain't got nothing to say.
I don't have anything to say to that. Like,
I mean, he got a point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like the response that his mom was like, "So you were drinking though," but I just don't like that response.
Yeah, she corrected it after she said, no, it happened twice, and he had to have been sober the second time. So yeah. I don't know how to explain that.
Like it's almost like you're making the excuse or excusing what she's saying or her concern about them having sex, or him just actually having sex with a person that he don't like. Which, I mean, I have to be somewhat attractive to you, to have sex with you.
Tell Paige that when God blesses you, he addeth no sorrow. Now, that's a word right there. I would have waited to be intimate just because he made all those assumptions about her being on birth control and asking all those weird questions. Yeah, I mean, I get that that's your husband, but I still don't know you. Chris is a liar and a narcissist. I'm not disagreeing. Apparently, Paige thinks marriage means put up for everything. Chris is in the same category as Luke a couple of seasons back. Is Luke the one that kept having sex with the girl, with his wife, and then he also, there was gay rumors out about him?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember the guy's name, but I think that's the guy I think that's who he is, who Luke is. Chris is classless. How is he maneuvered in business? There's a lot of classless businessmen. I've worked for quite a few. We did see Unfiltered this week. I actually got off early enough to watch it. So
man, it is hard to watch. It's hard to watch Paige and Chris in this whole thing, along with Jacob and Haley. That's a tough one for me to watch too.
This is what got me. Paige told Pastor Cal that they hadn't been using protection, but we know from every other season they throw condoms in.
Right.
So it's that's a choice that you made.
Yeah. They tell them be safe.
Exactly.
Hey, we're experts, but we don't know if it's gonna work.
Right.
Out of 12 seasons, we got 12 couples. Come on, man.
Alcohol should never be the fallback. That's true. It is an old video. She basically tried to overlook a lot of red flags. They didn't even try again after the engagement. It still didn't work out. Sorry, the child is pushing the table. She's pushing her chair into it. Yeah, okay. That was Luke that they were talking about. The one that I was talking about. He kept having sex with his wife, and then he was like, no, but then there was rumors. He was like, I'm not gay.
I don't remember him, man.
You remember him. We watched that season together. That was one of the first seasons that I sat down and watched.
What season? Who else was in that season?
I can't remember. Chris and Paige are actors. I can see that. I could see that. I mean, when you look at it from a television standpoint, when we first found out that this season was being recorded and they gave us the initial trailer, that was one of the bigger things in the trailer was that somebody is pregnant. And I was like, there could be anybody on the cast that's pregnant. Don't they give them pregnancy tests? But we didn't think that it would be some girl on the side. Paige also said they weren't tested beforehand, which is crazy.
They weren't tested.
Mm-hmm.
They just really taking a chance, huh?
Chris reminds me of Trump. I'm the greatest. I'm the smartest. I'm the best. I won, even though it shows I lost. It's your fault, not mine, even if I'm lying. I'm mad at actors. If they were actors, that would make me feel so much better because this is foolishness. Yeah, the acting thing, like, I just feel like it's very possible. I mean, we're in a city where people want to act and want to be involved in things like that, and I don't think you could have written a crazier story.
Well,
I'm having sex with you twice, but I don't like you.
Yeah.
I got a baby on the way. I was engaged earlier this year. It's already over with, but by the way, she's pregnant, and she's just now telling me that she's pregnant, even though from calculation standpoint of when you should have allegedly stopped having sex with this woman, it's been 3 months.
Man, you know he continued to have sex with this woman.
I don't recall these things on Pinky's Lives. I remember you defending the dark-skinned DeBarge. Oh, I don't know.
You know.
I don't know. That's not for me.
Who's the light-skinned DeBarge?
All of them are light-skinned. There's a dark-skinned DeBarge.
Oh, my bad. Who's the dark-skinned DeBarge?
I wish the producers had called the experts that next morning for Paige. No way Paige should have gone to Vegas. Yeah, I don't know how they reconciled. We're going to Vegas after this. Luke and Kate were on the same season as AJ and Stephanie. You know who AJ and Stephanie are?
Yeah.
Okay. He was an engineer that did a speed
dating. Speed dater. Speed dater.
That is how you describe him, because they had met before at the speed dating event like a month before.
That was awful, man. I hated that.
Yeah, that was literally like the first season that I watched. Would no testing, I wouldn't share a bag of chips with him. I heard someone joke that Paige is on drugs. That is why she is so calm.
But she gotta be smoking something, man.
I did look at her and I was like, she looks like she just hit some type of
marijuana.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, it's not legal.
It's not legal
in Georgia. Is that man's head on upside down or wrong way around? Michael from $10 was calling himself the dark.
From season 10.
Oh, from season 10. I'm like, $10? What did I? Jesus, take the wheel. Michael from season 10 was calling himself the dark-skinned DeBarge on IG. Michael is
Michael's terrible too.
Michael and Mika. Is that who?
Yeah.
Michael and Mika. They got an annulment, didn't they?
Yeah, I guess so.
There was a lot of weird things, and it's so funny. Michael looks like the guy we went to college with. Like they could be cousins, and it's so hard.
A bad weed. $10.
Don't judge my $10. Y'all.
Season 10, man. Season 10. Take it
down. I got it. He doesn't look like, she doesn't look like she's on drugs. She just had a bad weed. Yeah, that weed wasn't together. I was much happier when she got her hair done for the honeymoon. And I think she got her hair done hoping for a Caribbean vacation. Because that was definitely, I'm about to go frolic in some water type hair.
As Americans during that time, we could not go anywhere.
Yeah, she could have gone to Mexico. Mexico's still open.
Man, you saw Paige's whole feeling go down throughout that whole episode. It's like, I don't like you. I don't think you're pretty. I don't think you're pretty. And every time he said it, her vibe just went down.
Paige's self-esteem seemed low to let a man use her for sex. She should get out now. She thinks she would get a spinoff with her own show. Are they doing Married at First Sight spinoffs for individual couples?
No, I don't know if they're doing that. They need to give Chris some counseling though.
Mm-hmm. They do. Why didn't Chris meet with Paige's family? Was that intentional?
That's,
He
I would have to
probably
say.
wasted too much of production's time and the family left, because if he disappeared at 8, almost 9, and didn't come back until like almost 11, his window of opportunity was missing. If I was the family, I would have went home.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any reason to sit around to talk to you. That's a question for you. Tommy, you telling me that none of your people never like or dislike a woman more after sex?
Nah, I don't talk to my people about that. Like if I'm having sex with a woman, well, in my previous days, it had to be some type of attraction there for me to do that, because I feel like it's a privilege that you get a piece of me.
Lorenzo said he's not abandoning Cliff. He just understood them from the episode. Chris and Paige are both married at first sight trolls, aka stage, aka actors. Paige is good. I would have called an ambulance for myself and laid on the pavement and waited patiently for me to be carried away. Michael has a new girlfriend who he's in love with. He seems so happy. That's great for Michael.
Good.
I'm always happy to see them move on. There was another girl who was on Married at First Sight. I can't remember.
Michael with a black woman. I don't know.
That's a real question.
That's a real question.
But one of the alums of Married at First Sight is now pregnant. One of the black chicks. They both owned houses. I can't remember either one of their names.
Oh, Michael and no, it wasn't Michael. I know who, Keith and somebody. I can't remember her name.
Was it Keith?
Yeah, they from Philly. One was a nurse or. All right, man. Never mind. You can't be bringing stuff up and then don't know who they are.
Yes, definitely some hanky panky going on, because you don't wait 3 months to tell somebody that you're pregnant.
Well, they're staged, so I now believe that they're staged.
I mean, like, I found out at the 2-week mark. So, I mean, most people find out around 6 weeks.
Deanna and Greg.
No. It's another girl that's pregnant. Their relationship didn't make it. Too? Yeah, Deanna and Greg are pregnant, and Deanna is very close to delivery, if I'm not mistaken.
How do y'all know these things?
Internet. I'm Timmy Turner.
Keith and Ira. No, it wasn't. Yeah. I just be throwing names out there, man.
Paige got caught up with the dress, the wedding, etc., and took no time to get to know their stranger. She definitely did. She didn't try to. It was like they had been married for like 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Here is my vagina." Deanna and Greg, yeah, they're pregnant. Keith was with Iris, the virgin, yes. And I don't think that they're divorced yet.
Are they supposed to be divorced? They on the couples cam.
No. The virgin?
They're man, I'm completely lost, man. I'm thinking about Philly, man.
This Chris's baby is due in March. That's a lot. Please, guys, watch episode 4 again, and y'all will see the discrepancies in the story. How Chris is so insane, and how Paige is so delusional. This couple are the season showjoys.
I believe you, Lorenzo. Like, now I'm convinced that Paige and Chris possibly are staged actors.
Yes, that's who I'm talking about, Kimberly. Jasmine from season 8 is pregnant. She was married to Will. They didn't make it.
And now that's Chicago, right? I'm lost.
The only person I remember from Chicago is Nate, because Nate's
Nah, that's what I thought it was. But never mind. Don't worry about it. I'm lost.
There's an interview with Paige on Madame Noir I read today, and she gives more details. She said she was already insecure about the way she looked at the wedding and didn't have time to prepare. I can see that. Like, I needed the full year that it took for us to plan our wedding. I mean, granted, she's not planning the wedding. She was only planning how she looked. And then she's going through that in a pandemic. I could see having some insecurities about certain things. I mean, the wig being one of them. But it just is what it is. Let's see. Cliff, that ain't the truth. Hirsch, you trying to get me mad. Yes, they're divorced. What y'all think about Jacob? Jacob is cringy to me. To me, myself, personally. Silly.
Yeah.
These neighbors in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Jake. I don't know, man. I don't think they're gonna make it. I think Haley is too fast for Jacob. And Jacob's like he just like it's the simple things of having a conversation with a person. Like, oh, they like to travel. Where have you been? Oh, what's there to look at? That's simple. You know?
The conversations seem like they were too hard to have, and I know that that's editing. Like, I completely understand that that's editing, but a lot of what they were doing was very it was very cringy. What's this say? I don't like women judging Paige for having sex with her husband on day one. No one had an issue with Beth and Amber having sex with their husbands ASAP.
No, they didn't. But the issue is not that I don't think is that she had sex. I think it's more so the issue that he is openly saying he doesn't like this girl and he's having sex with her. I think
that's my issue. Like, issue. I don't care about the fact that they had sex on the first night. Like, that's not the issue. The issue is that I have sex with you twice, and then on the second time you tell me that you're not attracted to me. That's an issue.
Samantha, you gonna get drunk, man.
On Unfiltered, Jacob was funny and didn't seem so awkward. Maybe he's gotten used to the cameras now, because being followed around with the camera is hard. Jacob keeps talking about the red meats he eats all day. Red meat's in the beach at his house, but he said he didn't get in water, didn't he?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't get it, man. That's a weird diet anyway.
Beth and Amber's husbands weren't trash. I want to know what were the goals of this diet.
I don't know.
Like, that's something I would like to get into.
Like, I would just want a vegetable at some point. Like, give me some green beans, man.
May I have broccoli, please?
Please.
And he's saying Boss Beach one more time.
Man, right. It's like the simple thing of having a conversation with people, but that's the only thing you got. That's your go-to. We'll find out more information about them and less about you. Only thing I do is go to the beach, eat steak and eggs. That's all I got.
Paige, no, what does it say? She slept with her wig with her tiara on.
That's what that was?
Yeah.
I thought it was one of them virgin things that people wear.
Don't tell nobody else.
Don't worry about that. I'm told. I did.
You've had your $10 moment of the night too.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, I would have slept in my wig. I don't wear wigs, but if I did, I would have slept in my wig that day. Just because I don't know you, and you just don't get to see my
His diet is like that.
Matt was fake nice in the beginning. He got crazy after he came home. What are you doing?
Matt's the tall guy, right?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel sorry for Jacob. He has lived his life with his house, his dogs, and exercise. You do what you have to do to be sane and single. Now he is out and forgot his social skills. And I'm sure being in a pandemic doesn't help that, because we've all had some type of regression in social skills because we're not actively around people. Like, nowadays, if people get too close to you, you're nervous. So, like, you're adding in, like, a person in your space. You're adding in all these cameras, and then this person that you have to get to know because you're all of a sudden married to them. Like, that is just
well, just tell somebody to go to a room and sneeze.
Tommy said, go to a room and sneeze and see how many people look at you. Amber's husband cheated on her. What are you talking about? His diet is Atkins, just protein. Oh, that's what it is. But now that he had told her that he's not attracted to him, she still continues to sleep with him. Why? It felt like she was going to try to make him attracted to her. That's about all I got. On Reddit, someone posted a post from Jacob saying the only reason he said something about his house is because he was responding to a question about what he had been doing during COVID. I could see that, and them trying to edit it out makes it seem like he's consistently talking about his house. And I mean, I get it, because like, he showed everything on the security camera, That's Tommy. Like, if Tommy wants to show you something in the house, he will bring out the phone, pull up the cameras in the house, and be like, hey, look at this. So, love your family dynamics as a couple. You two look like besties and so funny. Thank you. Crazy thing, Tommy and I have known each other. How many years have we known each other? 16 years. We've been together
13 or 14.
13. 2013. So this will be the 8th year that we've been together. And we've been married for 4. We'll have been married for 5 in August. Which is why the channel is called August Love Story. That was our wedding hashtag.
And we met originally in August.
Yeah, first time we met was in August. We started dating in August. We got married in August. And then we had our first kid in August.
Yep.
Cliff, yes, but the first night he pretended to be interested in her, which is why no one questioned her choice. Paige slept with a man who didn't play any games and was rude.
And that's the thing. It's like, why? Like it's two ways he could have shook that. Mm-hmm. Like, either one, don't say anything, just be like, I'm just doing this, or 2, don't have sex with her. Cause like that's a risk in itself. Because what if she got pregnant on the first night?
Then he would have.
Now he would have had a baby by a girl he didn't think was attractive.
I was just thinking about the long lines.
And then he would have 2 baby mamas.
I was thinking about it along the lines of like me and my brother. My brother and I are 16 days apart, so it would have been one of those situations. Maybe not 16 days, but they definitely would have been same year. Absolutely, I would have slept in my wig. I don't know you. I mean, I don't wear wigs, but I would have had a wig on. You don't have to say everything that comes to your mind. Very true. I haven't seen Unfiltered yet. I watched tonight. Jacob needs some serious help. He'd be friend zone quick.
I be like, Jacob needs a wingman.
She said I would have had my wig super glued down. You're not taking this off. You do not get to meet me in my stocking cap.
Jacob needs a wingman.
It just, I mean, I'm sure that they definitely played up his awkwardness a lot more, because you can only edit. You can edit things away. Like, you can't change what was said, but you can add pauses and stuff like that to make things a lot more dramatic than they actually were.
Yeah. Oh, you're leaving me.
No, I was cleaning her neck and she was getting excited. Her boy was on TV.
It's a lot of other.
That's how you know you're a parent, singing Sesame Street songs.
We only talked about Chris and Paige. I want to talk about the other couples, like Virginia and Eric.
She said, "Oh my God, I just thought maybe Chris saw Paige without the wig."
Does she have hair under this?
How would we know?
Oh.
So you want Chris to lie to Paige? Chris is trying to find attraction. He's not acting like Beth from season 1. We gotta go back and watch season 1.
It's open. Yeah, I need to watch season 1. I never watched season 1. Is omission lying?
People say you can lie by omission, but I don't necessarily believe that omission is lying. I don't think it's lying unless you tell me something that's untrue.
Like, why would you? Like, my thing is, why would you walk up to a person and say, "Hey, you're ugly," if they didn't ask?
True.
You know, or why would you say, "Hey, I'm not attracted to you," if they ask? When, like, physical attraction is omission is lying.
I think Chris's family and his fiance were all on him being on the show. I don't think he was supposed to sleep with Paige. She messed himself up.
No.
If that was the fiance on the phone that called upset, I don't think she was cool with any of it. Do you think Paige could sense the lack of attraction? I know I would as a woman.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Anybody would.
Omission is lying. Tomato.
I mean, I ain't gonna like. I'm a person that don't volunteer information.
I think of it like if you ask me what I did today and I said I went to work, it's not a lie if I only went to work to go grab something out of my desk.
Yeah.
I did go to work today.
Right.
Tommy, she asked him what was bothering him and he told her.
I would have lied. I would have lied.
This week's lives are going to be fired. I'm going to have to get into some of the lives of the other people on YouTube. I know that I've looked in on Little Black Book 91s a few times. I've watched Chloe's reviews, and Millennial and Mom, I've watched their reviews for this week's episode. But I haven't joined any lives. Do y'all believe the opposites attract method the experts use really work? They always pick outgoing women with quiet men.
I mean, it can work. The opposite attract ideal works. Me and Artika are complete opposites. And we're working so far. We all run into our issues, but you know.
Yeah, but like, I guess that is very true because you're very outgoing, and I'm more reserved in that regard. But like, Tommy is a self-described introvert because he doesn't just talk to people. But I'll talk to anybody. I just don't want to. So it's weird. Privacy is different from omission. It's the intent to deceive that makes omission a lie. I can see that. I guess that is when you're intending to make me feel a certain way about it because of omission, then yeah, that's definitely can get into lie territory. The only couple I think will make it this time is the guy and his grandma is sick. I can't remember their names. The pretty dark skinned girl. That is Vincent and Brianna. I think that Vincent and Brianna are going to make it. I'm interested to see Clara and Ryan. Give her some graham crackers. I'm interested to see Clara and Ryan and how they work out. Clara talks a lot and Ryan seems to need quiet. So that's going to be interesting. I do watch The Bald and the Beautiful with Kev on Stage. Like, I watch a lot of Kev on Stage's content. But I know I don't get to see when they do their recaps. Like, of course, I have to wait for it to come out on YouTube because I know they do it for their Patreon, and I don't have the time to invest in being a patron of anybody's. But yeah, theirs are always really good as well. I like that it's 4 different perspectives, even though it's 2 married couples, because that gives a lot different insight, even though they're usually kind of on the same page. Paige assumed that sex equaled attraction. She's naive. Chris was deceptive. Yeah, we were married on the 21st. Huh?
A lot of people make that assumption that sex equals attraction because it should.
Tommy just said a lot of people make the assumption that sex equals attraction because it should. There was something that I heard, and I don't remember where I heard from. It might have been in a movie where they said men use what does it say? Women use sex for love, and men use love for sex. So essentially, what they're saying is a woman will have sex with you looking for love, and a man will say he loves you to try to get sex. Chris didn't give Paige a chance. Jamie wasn't originally attracted to Doug, but now they are happily married. He just has an image of what he wants his wife to look like, and she doesn't fit into that. That's very true. I thought I was going to have a tall husband. Why you make that face? I did think I was going to have a tall husband. You have a giant heart, but you're just not a tall man. You're taller than me. What? But coming from having a dad who's 6'6", I was just used to being around really tall men in my life. Chris's father seems heartbroken with the way things are turning out between Chris and Paige, actors. Clara talks too darn much. I fast forward through her segments. She does talk a lot.
She talks fast too.
Lorenzo, why do you think Brianna is overrated? Like, I haven't seen anything about Brianna that makes me feel that way about her. Interested to see that. Yeah, Tommy picked up on Chad being the producer of the 85 South show. I don't really watch the 85 South show. He does.
I watch it every Friday.
Yeah, he watches it every week. But I don't get to. Ron is reserved and Claire is all over the place. Any woman who's been in my life, past or present, has been blessed. If you ask me a question, I do tell the truth. However, I learned it's not what you say, but how you say it. Absolutely. It is always how you say things. You could find a nice way to tell a person that they ugly. It's kind of like telling, like, people in the South saying that baby got a nice outfit on instead of saying that baby cute.
I see you, Cliff, dropping gems.
Who y'all think was more awkward, Jacob or Henry?
Definitely Jacob. Henry just didn't really say anything.
Yeah, Henry didn't seem awkward with other people that were not Christina.
What you doing?
His awkwardness was mostly with Christina.
Yep.
I went and followed Chad on Instagram. Kimberly, he's a cutie.
I ain't saying all that.
Why y'all don't let the baby be in the show? It's not that we're not letting her do it. She keeps trying to knock over the table when she comes over here. It's her table that we're using, mind you. And she can pick it up because it's just a little, it's a her size plastic
she
table.
Making all this noise and I can't get all the comments.
Opposites do attract. Lee is an introvert. We do have the same level of crazy, though. I love Vincent and Brianna. And by the way, they need to stop making Virginia look like a drunk. Gee, she's 26. By 26, I had calmed down my drinking, but that's because I did enough of it in college. By 26, we were together, right? Yeah. And I agree. Like, Regina, you and Lee are definitely opposites. Lee is very quiet and you're very, like, outgoing. Men married for sex, women have sex for marriage. Essentially the same thing, the love in the marriage. Henry was more awkward than Jacob, but also more likable than Jacob. Absolutely. Henry, they think he's on the spectrum. I have heard that quite a bit. I'm not going to medically diagnose anybody. I'm sensing the spirit of Chris on you today.
Not the spirit of Chris.
Brianna would have me jump out of the hotel window the first night.
I don't know if that's bad or good.
But you said you didn't like her.
Oh.
There's no way to say you ugly, period.
Unless you checking.
Brianna and Claire talk about being the boss and not submitting. I don't know if their marriages will work out. I guess there's always, in my opinion, a sense of a little bit of bossiness from one party or the other in every relationship. Brianna's is just projected more by her family, but I don't think that Brianna has actively done anything that seems super bossy, like thus far in the show. Of course, we're only a few episodes in, but I don't think she's done anything that makes her seem excessively bossy. I think Ryan is better looking than Claire will accept that relaxed patch, but he seems to like her. Ryan is a nice looking guy. I think that relaxed patch is also awkward.
That's what she wanted, though.
Yeah, she wanted a racially ambiguous man, and his little relaxed patch got her. If Chris got my spirit, God blessed him more than he thinks. I don't like Ryan. I mean, we've had discussions about why you don't like Ryan, so something with a lot of these couples, they're caught up with the wedding and the idea of being married.
Yeah.
But that's how things are put out there for people. Like, you look at it people look at your wedding as being how your marriage is going to go, but it's like I've seen people have big extravagant weddings and be divorced in less than a year, and then you have people that get married at the courthouse and
live happily ever after.
Like my grandparents, they got married at the courthouse, and the year my grandmother died, they would have been married for 50 years that year had she been alive to their wedding date. I don't know if Ryan said how important his faith was to him. He probably just checked the box like Christian check and didn't say my parents are ministers and all these things. Like I grew up going to church 3-4 days a week, stuff like that. Have we confirmed that Jared has had a girlfriend in the last decade? Is she still on his credit report? I love Paige's personality. Ron doesn't come across like religion was a deal breaker. I think it's more so honoring his parents. No, I can definitely see that. Like I said, I think it was just him checking a box. Like, I don't want to bring home a Muslim woman or, some other religion, like Christian check or believes in God check. And it's easy enough to say, hey, mom, she's a Christian. Like, it's okay. She's cool. Wow, do people really say the wedding is an indication of marriage? I would never think that. I have heard that a lot. There are a lot of people that are looking for big, extravagant, fancy weddings, and that's just not what it is. Like, it's almost like a bragging thing to say, I spent this much money on my wedding, and then it's like, but how much time have you spent on the actual marriage? The experts don't match for religion, desire for kids, ages, etc. What are they doing? I don't know, because we've seen the kid thing come up a couple of times. Age, I don't really get into that part of it because I see a lot of people with age differences around me that are not impacted by them being able to have a lasting connection and a great relationship. So, but the religion thing, I mean, I've also seen that too not be as bad, but it's usually one person who is willing to either convert or they're willing to just basically say, hey, you do your stuff, I'll do mine. But then that becomes an issue when you get ready to have kids, because then what do you decide to raise the kids as? I know, like for us, I went to a multicultural church before Tommy and I started dating. And when I took him to my church, he was just like, nope. So we agreed to find a church together. And we have been going to the church that we attend now, like since, 3-4 months into dating?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Paige is calm and sweet, but I'm ready to see her let Chris really know about himself. Me too. I want to hear from Chad. Free Chad. I really would like for Chad to talk about his perspective of this experience, because he's not the person getting married, but he's seeing it firsthand. Ryan wants a woman that can pray in the spirit on command to appease his parents, or his mama, I should say. Matching for ratings. It depends on the culture. The actual wedding is bringing two families together. I hope the experts are more involved this year. It seems like they helped them more in previous seasons. I think that the uncertainty with COVID is what messed everything up with the experts in last season. I wish they would have done more Zoom sessions with them to get to the root of some of the issues. But a lot of those issues I don't think would have been resolved with the experts' helps regardless. Because when you get into, maybe Karen and Miles would have gotten on a better footing earlier on with the experts. But when you look at Henry and Christina, that wasn't going to work. Brett and Olivia, that wasn't going to work. Age difference is awesome. Lee is 11 years younger, but he's the grown-up. Had the show had a religious couple that wasn't Christian?
I don't think so.
Not that I know of, but I also haven't watched a lot of seasons. I think this might be the 4th season that I've watched probably the third of it not just being in passing. Yeah,
I couldn't get with the music that they were playing at her church. So
again, like it was a very service was strict and concise. It was 75 minutes total. The first 15 minutes were praise and worship. The rest of the service was like, he's bringing the word. We doing the altar call. Everybody go to your car.
But the music wasn't for me.
Yeah, it was very contemporary Christian music and not gospel.
And it wasn't Tommy.
And Tommy fell asleep the first time we went. But like at our current church, he's like, granted, outside of the parameters of COVID, he's very involved in the church. Like he does the sound for the church. So, he found his place in the church. I think Virginia sings better this week, less tipsy, even though she looked for the minibar ASAP. She does seem like a sweet person. I think that some of it is her anxiety, but also when I think about our honeymoon, when we arrived to the airport for our honeymoon, they had us meet them at an area where they were going to get our luggage and put us on the van to go to the resort. And they started off giving us alcohol in the airport. Like they filled us up, gave us drinks, and then basically were like, go ahead.
And this man asked for a tip. And we walked 50 steps. I was like, geez.
There may or may not have been a banjo at my old church from time to time. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Just wasn't me.
Apparently, it was Bree throwing up at the bachelorette party, not Virginia. So editing is obviously trying to push a specific narrative. That's interesting. Brianna was definitely throwing them back at the bachelorette party. Yes, she was like when she was talking to them when they were talking about having sex that night. Yeah. She was very much so drunk.
Yeah.
I think Virginia uses alcohol to deal/cope with her anxiety. I'm hoping that the drinking issues balances itself out during the season. No multicultural church for you.
Not for me.
Rest in peace, Virginia's liver. Most men don't want a party girl for a wife. I could see that.
No, they don't.
Yes, a banjo. There's possibly have been one like while I was there. I know I've seen a few guitars being brought out, very acoustic setting, a spotlight and a mic, and a person. These things are so big. A spotlight and a mic, and somebody singing their praises to the Lord, just them and their guitar. Paige needs some island girl in her. She should have chewed him up and spit him out. He would have been crying for real, and give him something to really cry about. Mm-hmm. She woke up at like 5. Why do they keep matching people who love traveling and adventure with people who haven't ever been out of the country? Talking about Haley and Jake. I mean, this is 2 seasons in a row that this is happening because we had Henry and Christina. Christina was like, I travel everywhere.
She's a travel agent, right?
No, she was a flight attendant.
Travel agent, but a flight attendant.
And then Henry was like, Northern Virginia's cool. What do we think about Vincent hitting on the stripper? I think he's a good guy, but that was an unfortunate moment.
That's okay.
Was it?
Yeah, like I mean, like he's like.
Are you hitting on strippers?
I wasn't hitting on a stripper, but I was checking like people with the stripper. Like it's. I had a nice conversation with the stripper.
That would have been an interesting matchup to see someone like Mika with Chris.
Chris couldn't handle that.
No, because Mika was holding Mike's feet to the fire.
You said. On the plane, you said.
That's true. But I don't think that Brett wasn't going anywhere. I think that Brett just wasn't traveling as extravagantly as Olivia was. Like, Olivia was like, throw the whole paycheck at it. And Brett was like, we can stay at a Holiday Inn. Vincent was definitely tipsy.
Yeah. Vincent was drunk.
It should have been Eric the pilot and Haley the flight attendant as a couple. I thought that same thing because 2 people that
Haley's not the flight attendant.
Is it not Haley?
No, it's Clara's the flight attendant, and Haley's the sales rep.
But she's the one that like lived in Australia for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Anyway.
So she's not a flight attendant, but she traveled. Christina was last year's fake actor, in my opinion. I can see that. Lily, how did you pop your rubber band yet again? We just gonna let these go. We're not gonna have.
He said mutual DV case.
Oh, it would have definitely been a domestic violence case because Mika looked like she would have fought him.
Go to the next.
Mm-hmm. Did you see this fool tell his wife he from Chicago like he was hard and then crying in the next scene? Like that completely erased all of the Chicago. All of it. Whatever you thought you were gaining from saying you're from Chicago, you erased it. Have y'all noticed how much Chris says to be perfectly honest with you and then he followed that phrase with a lie? I did not pay attention to that. I'll have to see how much more of that he said.
Which one?
That one. The one that's up.
What's next?
Whatever you click on.
This is terrible. I'm awful at this one.
And when is Paige going to realize that this ain't the work of the Lord? I think she might. It hit her now. Like, you know, the current Paige, not like.
I mean, like, to be honest, it's the work of the Lord. It's the way the Lord planned it for because it happened.
He give you free will.
And it's just
to make all of your decisions.
It's just a place in her life that she gotta, go through. Oh, okay, so I got it, guys. Ask what you need to know. Christina had a jerk for a husband. Who was Christina? Henry. Yeah. I liked Henry though, man. Henry was cool. He drink his wine. He be cool with everybody.
Boy, did he drink his wine.
Yeah, he had his wine. He had his thing, man. It's like kind of like how I like whiskey. He drink his wine.
You don't drink whiskey like.
Nah, I don't drink it like gotta have one every night. Let's see. I hope Paige's family and friends tell her to get out. Pastor Cal may even. Yeah, I see that coming, man. Pastor Cal may be like, hey, you may need to pull the brakes. Let's see. Cliff. I love Henry. Cliff hated Henry.
Henry wasn't bad.
Henry was a good guy, man. I think Christina more so. I don't really remember what it was about Christina that I did. She lied. Like she lied so much. Let's see. Chris gives me. I need to get jumped one good time to be in order. Did you all hear about Matthew Stevenson, the pastor who posted?
Yes, that's the one I showed you the picture of with Chris today.
What the PR is going on. I did see that. And that's about all. I don't have anything nice to say about that, so I'm not gonna say anything. It was hilarious. I would have hit me when my new father-in-law came on to me just ODB. Oh, okay. Dirty bastard. Tommy is so honest. I try to be.
To a fault, man.
To a fault, man. I try to be. You need help, LOL. That's all the comments, man. There go another one.
They're not coming fast enough.
They ain't coming like I'm answering them too fast, man. I keep thinking it would have been awful for Chris to say no it would have been terrible if he would. It would have been honest though. And I think that would have
appreciated that more. Now it would have made for 18 weeks of good TV.
I do think I think the experts need to do a show just about why they put Paige and Chris together. I definitely think that needs to happen. Mm-hmm. Like they for sure needs to sit down and be like, hey.
Maybe that's what they recently filmed because they did just film something.
Did they?
Yeah. Like last weekend, Dr. Viviana was here filming something with Pastor Cal.
Do you think Vince's career is stable? Let me slide over. When he was talking to Bree's family, they were all side-eyeing him.
No.
I don't. No, I don't think. I think it's
It's in the beginning stages.
It's in the beginning stages, and yes, he like when you're starting a business out, you're gonna work a lot harder and work a lot longer. But he's seeing some type of success with it, and then of course he's trying to do the real estate thing. So I think I just saw that. I think because of that, it's something, So
this is what we're laughing at. There should be a congressional hearing about why the experts put Chris and Paige together. There needs to at least be a 15-minute
There
spot.
definitely needs to be like, hey, what was going on, guys? Pastor Cal actually, I don't know if he I think he went on Instagram or somewhere. He made a video talking about it or did an interview talking about like what they were going through, and like all this is supposedly a surprise to them.
Pastor Cal said he wasn't sure Chris would be attracted to Paige. Funny enough, they look a bit alike.
Who?
Chris and Paige?
Or Pastor Cal with Chris?
I'm gonna have to go look into some of these. I've heard that there's like a lot of interviews out there about
I want to interview Dr. Pepper because she was the only one that was like, yeah, they're good for each other.
What's it say? They need to put together a show about how they missed the red flags when casting Chris, Jacob, and Virginia. I don't think they are bad people, but not ideal matches. Jake seems socially awkward.
Yep.
I think that there's been quite a few people in past seasons that were mismatched and they would have been better for someone else. And I know that the city, you can't just be like, I'm going to hook you up with somebody in Atlanta because we're filming in Boston. But there were some people that just definitely should not have been put together.
I think production put, yeah, I mean, like, I could see it happening. You know what I'm saying? Like the people of the show would be like, we need one. Y'all can have the rest of them, but we want one, but I doubt it. I think the people, the experts pick all of them, or all of it is a conspiracy. One of the two.
Chris and Paige look a little alike to me. Chris's personality makes him less attractive. Chris's personality definitely does make him look less attractive. He's not my type, but
Yeah, y'all see her type.
Do you? I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you today. What's that say? I didn't say that. I said that's what he needs, not should get. I don't wish violence on anyone. I pray for accountability. Now, if someone chooses not to spare the rod, so be it. Dr. Pepper was looking embarrassed during the pre-show. I would have some words for her. If
she definitely was looking like, oh my God, I don't know how this happened. I am so sorry.
Like she wants to come rub her hand.
Right?
Like, Paige.
I am so sorry.
Paige. Yeah, Chris is trash. I wasn't talking about him when I said they aren't bad people. How much should Paige's feet be held to the fire regarding this mess? To what extent is she responsible for the way all of this has gone down?
100%.
I think that because Paige, how do I start this? Okay.
Paige.
Having sex with your husband on the first day and having sex with your husband twice on the first day is not an issue. That is a non-issue. Continuing to have sex with a man who says that he's not attracted to you is the issue. Also, looking beyond I was engaged earlier this year and then continuously bringing up the ex in the episode, like in the conversation, those are the red flags that we should be holding Paige's feet to the fire about, because that's like you just missed them. Like they were right there in your face.
That's bad decision making on Paige. She should be held to the fire for her decisions too.
Yeah.
Chris, I think we just looking at it as Chris being a bad person, but Paige just making some bad decisions.
Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily want to say that Chris is a bad person. I think that Chris was not a good person for this show.
Yeah.
Because I don't know him to say he's a bad person, but I can say that he's made a series of bad decisions. Dr. Pepper will be a great person to interview because she is the only expert that has been on every season. That's true.
That is true.
Because Dr. Viviana replaced
the other girl,
the other expert who married somebody from the show.
Yeah. Which that was, I think, was the first season I watched. That was awful. What that girl had did, man. I have to tell you.
Paige needs to go with the long hair that she had in Vegas. It helps her out. It looked better than that wig. Lily, stop throwing my phone on the floor. We're great. How about you? I'll say Chris is a bad person.
Thank you. Love it.
I really hope Paige doesn't stay the whole time. It must get really bad if mild Eric is ready to fight and stand up to him.
I think that has something to do with something else. Like you're absolutely right. I think it is gonna get bad for him to have to constantly, because that's their interaction constantly. Is, dude, you gotta take care of your kid. What is, like, I'm curious to see what happens.
Yeah, there's no telling what was said, but I'm sure that it was something that wasn't supposed to be said. And let's not forget, he disappeared for hours and ignored her calls after they consummated their marriage twice. I have a problem with people disappearing. Like, let me know something.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what you did. Like, if I've gone, I'm sure she went downstairs and looked for him, because there's no way that I would have just sat in the room for 2 hours and all I did was call your phone. Like, I would have been downstairs like, where is my husband?
Yeah, his behavior is trash.
Agreed.
Yeah. Garbage.
That is exactly what it's compared to. The bus scene on season 10 like with Brandon.
$10.
Shut your face. Shut your
face. Every
face.
time I see an S10, I'll be like, $10?
I think you're correct, but I can't imagine what I would do knowing it's a legally binding relationship. Chris presents as self-centered and insecure and definitely has had poor guidance. He needs therapy. You know what? One of the things that we noticed with the families as well, and I mentioned it in the review from their wedding, is that Chris's family didn't talk anything about him in particular. They only talked about his accomplishments and his money. So his family is also focused on that as well, it seems. When Chris asked her for a kiss before they left for Vegas, after he basically called her ugly to her face, Chris is a horrible person. I give y'all that. I see you, Chris and Paige were put together. Both are business savvy, both religious, both want kids. I'm going to say that I don't know about the religious part. I think that people say that they believe in God and then it becomes religious. Both want kids. They're in the same league. He just plays that he is at a higher level than Paige. That ruined it. Not being attracted to someone doesn't make you a bad person. He did not force Paige to sleep with him. He did not.
That is true. Because if he did, he'd be in jail. His production was there.
I don't remember what made Brandon flip out. Why did he flip out?
Taylor did something.
Did she? I don't remember. So funny in your review, you said, I believe people have panic attacks, but he didn't. I do. I've watched people firsthand have panic attacks. I don't believe Chris had a panic attack about Paige. It's like production brought Chris on and showed him the most controversial scenes, and he was like, I got you.
Bet.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. Wait a minute.
Karen not coming home is ghosting. That was an issue.
Yeah,
I definitely had issues with Karen and not coming home, because you say that you felt unsafe and then you come back the next day like everything cool. Nah, dog, you had issues, remember? Let's talk about them. They weren't there. We don't know what happened to them. I would like to find out. It's not that he's not attracted to her, it's how he handled not being attracted to her. There were far better ways to handle that. Right? And can we talk about his parents? I would have flipped if his mom insinuated he only slept with me because he had a drink. Like, the whole family screams issues. I'm going to be completely honest. And this is coming from like a person who doesn't get easily angered like with other people. But like, if somebody's mama told me that they only had sex with me because they were drinking, I would have come across the table. I laughed when Chris was like, you don't talk to people's parents about sex. Your daddy shouldn't have talked to me about sex. They're excellent on paper, divorce papers. Can I have a divorce, please? With a kissy face. Brandon had a panic attack when he woke up to Taylor's phone in his face.
He sure did.
Okay, I remember.
Because he woke up, was like, whoa, and then quickly exited the scene.
When Chris said he stopped being a minister because he wasn't making enough money, I knew he was a mess.
Yeah. He in it for the wrong,
wrong
reason, ain't it?
Chris probably found out the ex was pregnant right after he slept with Paige, and he panicked. That's not a panic attack. It's not. I think that he found out about it downstairs. Like, she probably was blowing up his phone that night because I'm sure it got around to her that he got married.
Yeah.
And then, or he probably said it to her, like, you know, you need to fight to get me back or something like that. I'm just interested to see how that all panned out. Haley is obviously not attracted to Jacob, but is handling it in a mature way. Definitely. She just keeps saying, I'm tired. I think we're going to go lay down. Did you know she said that twice? The wedding night, and then when they got to Vegas, she was tired both times and was like, we're going to go lay down.
I'll be watching this show on pins and needles, man. Like, these couples are terribly matched.
He's trying to find attraction. Sex can make you like, dislike, or stay mutual feelings wise towards women.
I mean, like, to each his own.
The Brandon issue is probably why Cameron did not follow Chris that morning.
That's probably true.
Ignoring your wife for 2 hours is both juvenile and irresponsible. Where's the security in that? How's that a soft place to land? Marriage is agreeing to consider someone else's feelings. That's true. The Brandon issue is I've read that one. I'm just here for Brianna and Vincent. Haley and Jacob were kissing the night they got to Vegas. What?
They did kiss.
They did kiss.
Like
nobody kisses like Eric and Virginia.
No, nobody is touching them. That's why I was telling you. I was like, we're not seeing a lot between Haley and Jacob, but I think there's a lot more going on between them.
No, they definitely have to have more conversations than they do. But like literally, she is absolutely we're gonna go lay down now. Yeah. But she also didn't want to kiss him at the wedding in front of everybody. But didn't they kissed at the altar, but she wouldn't kiss him like for the pictures and stuff. Haley is cool, but what bothers me about her is that she could have said no to being a bridesmaid that many times. Absolutely. I've literally only been in 2 weddings.
How many I've been in? 3? Are you including yourself?
No.
Chris stopped being a pastor because he felt like Chicago turned their back on him because of how he spoke as a young pastor. He said this. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Thanks, Cliff, for giving that bit of information.
I'm interested in how he was speaking that made Chicago turn their back on him. We don't see them because Jacob is so boring. Married at First Sight turns into a setup. There has to be something up with the selection process. You can't be fooled this bad. I hope Haley and Jacob warm up to each other, though.
I mean, eventually they probably will.
They're either going to warm up to each other or fizzle out into a divorce. Are you guys watching the couples cam? Have not. Production is gaslighting us. We heard kissing. Perhaps they inserted a little bit of penetration. I mean, I'm sure, like, we didn't see anything that made us believe that Paige and Chris were going to have sex, and then the next morning, we found out they had sex.
Insert sound here.
He shouldn't ignore her. I was just talking when he went off on Taylor and production for their disrespect.
He talking about the Brandon.
I know. Who do you think is going to be the favorite couple of the season? Brianna
and Vincent. That's my favorite couple.
Did y'all see Chris ask his bride, do you want me to kiss you, with a look of horror on his face? Yes. And then he was like, where? And she's like, on the lips.
Kiss me on the lips.
And then he was still hesitant about that too. Haley is approaching this completely opposite from Paige. She says she will not commit if she's not feeling it. That's I'm trying to think of who else has done that.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, you gotta get to know the person first, man.
There was another season of
That's
someone
why I look at it, man. You
that
gotta
ended
get to know the
definitely
person.
like friend zone.
I don't know.
And they're like his friend and her sister got
Oh,
together.
I know who you're talking about, but that he kept comparing his friend and that her friend and his sister.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember their name.
All I see them is at the bonfire.
Yeah.
But I can't remember.
Drinking beers.
Having a few brews.
Having a few beers. But
What are you waving at?
I don't know, man. Like this season to me is it's interesting. Like it's different from every other season, and I'm just curious to see the interaction between people and stuff like that. So
I definitely think they set us up to have those last two weddings together because we're holding our breath for Chris and Paige, and then with Haley and Jacob, it was just awkward.
wow.
Regina said my favorite cousin for real though, kiss me on the lips. Just so y'all know, that's my cousin, but she calls Tommy her favorite cousin for real though. That's how they have each other in their phones.
For real.
Chris had a panic attack, not a panic attack. Paige was like, "Now, sing it, baby." Paige is going to try her extreme best to get Chris to like her, and I hate that.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. We would just be living as roommates in the community housing that they provided for us for the 8 weeks, and then I would go home and collect my per diem money for having finished this show. When do y'all think Chris is assessing all the other couples and how they were matched? I was confused by that because it doesn't really matter to him it shouldn't matter to him about the other couples. I am interested to figure out what his beef is with Jacob, even though we see that he's going to have a true beef with Eric. Do y'all think Brandon has a little sugar in his tank?
I never gave it a thought.
I never thought that about Brandon, but I didn't think too hard about Brandon. I feel like we're all going to be worn out at the end of this season. I might need a break next season. Yeah, next season they're going to be in Houston. Yeah. Eric loves his smoking hot wife.
Smoking hot wife.
Jacob is on the spectrum.
What comment?
Brandon could be sexually fluid like Andrew Gillum. Speaking of Andrew Gillum, there is an article that just came out in GQ magazine that I need to finish, and apparently it gives a lot of insight to that night that he was found in the hotel room because they interviewed the escort that he was with, and the story that he went and told on Tamara Hall's show was completely blown apart. Tommy, read my comment above and let me know what you think. Let's see what the comment above is, Tommy. With the Me Too movement happening, Chris is not the first person to ask permission to kiss their wife.
Yeah, okay. Now I saw that. Yeah, you're right. He's not the I think somebody actually asked today. I mean, not today, but at their y'all know what I mean. Somebody asked then, but it was just awkward. The awkwardness came from when he was like, "Where you want me to kiss you at? On the forehead, on the nose, on the cheek, in the back of the head, on the lips." You obviously lean in where you want to kiss her at. Do you want to kiss on the lips? Do you want to kiss on the do you want to kiss on the cheek? That was my thoughts on it.
The spectrum is the autism spectrum. So, being completely functional.
Said things like Cox K.
No, it's not like Cox K.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
It's how he acts to kiss her. He really did not want to kiss her.
He didn't.
Absolutely.
You saw it. You saw the disgust in his face.
I wouldn't say disgust, but it was definitely like a nah.
Nah. That's one of those. It was a lonely, cold night, and he was just looking for some warmth. That's one of those you don't tell nobody.
You shouldn't have sex with people and not want to tell anybody that you have been intimate with that person. Exactly. And I don't mean from a not kissing and telling standpoint, but from a I don't want to be associated with you standpoint. We briefly talked about
Bree man. I want to talk about them.
What do you have about them?
I don't have a lot.
That's why we're not talking about them.
I think they're a little cool couple. They're nice and everything. Everybody just been on Chris and Paige, man.
Because Chris and Paige are this season's train wreck.
They're the train wreck.
Like Clara and Ryan, we haven't mentioned much about them. We talk more about Chad than we have about Ryan. That's terrible. Haley and Jacob, we've just all said that it's awkward between them. It has to be more to it than what we see.
Yeah.
But yes, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's not. You got you said Haley and Jacob.
Eric and Virginia.
Eric and Virginia.
They just be kissing.
I don't really know what to say else about Brianna and Vincent. I think they're a good match.
He didn't want to kiss Paige. I've had the same sentiment. I know the horror of not wanting to kiss someone who is trying. I mean, been there, done that, not moved, but I also wasn't marrying him. Then he had the audacity to tell her friends to her face that Paige isn't a trophy wife. What did I say? I didn't say audacity. He had the audacity to tell her friends to their face. I don't know that Paige isn't a trophy wife. Like he really may have some type of social disorder. To be perfectly honest with you, we don't have a lot to say about the other couples because they haven't showed a lot about the other couples. They want us to focus on Chris and Paige. And I think a lot of it is because there's not a ton of footage that they're able to get with COVID. And so we focus on the mess. Really want y'all to see my twist for my twist out underneath this here turban. Because you may get a baby with the person you think is ugly. Don't be sleeping with ugly folks. Exactly. This season is the Chris and Paige show. Last season was the well, I guess technically it was two couples. You had the happy end of the spectrum, and then you had the what are y'all doing? And they happen to be friends.
Wow, we here. He a good man.
Well, I'm waiting to see the financial confession from Brianna.
What's the financial confession?
What about Vincent's finances? Because we all don't think that Vincent is making a lot of money.
You think he's making a lot of money?
I said I don't think we think that he's not making a lot of money, which is understood because he's starting his business. I like Bree. I think she might be a little bossy. I think she will want more control. Even when it came to Vincent asking for her number, she wants to be more proper in asking for it. I don't know. I took that as a joke, but I could see people taking it as a literal thing too. So when he saw her from 50 feet away, you thought it was in a good way, cut it out. I didn't.
Yeah, like that was definitely.
I think we were all sitting on pins and needles with that one. I'm glad y'all are married. ATL has some slim pickings. Also, men are different. They don't build attraction, and if they do, it's multiple years of friendship. He knew he would never want her, but that booty made him want to smash. Agreed. Vincent is trying real hard. I hope everything works out for him. I go into every season that I've watched optimistic that these people are going to work out. We got 3 couples to work out from the last season. Yeah. I think that might have been the most that I've seen stay together at decision day since I've been watching.
Yeah.
Her friend should have Beyonce's sister kick Chris when he said Paige wasn't a trophy wife. The trophy wife thing is kind of weird because I wouldn't want to be described as a trophy wife, but you're not going to come and tell people that I'm not attractive enough to be a trophy wife either. That's just how I feel about that. Because a trophy wife is usually seen as someone that doesn't have anything going for them outside of being this person's wife. Mm-hmm. And we see that she has other things going for her. I'm a little confused about some of the things because she owns a home, but she's living in an apartment. I didn't understand that page.
Oh, well, she rented out the home.
I know, that's what I'm saying, but she lives in an apartment. I was just living in my house. I bought it.
She trying to make some money, I guess.
It is what it is. Regina said, "Oh, I'm a trophy." Ryan is romantic, but poor Claire is probably going to drive him crazy. Monique, that's because she's not what he's used to. So you telling me he could sleep with her but hate the idea of kissing her? Bree is definitely type A, and I hope that Vincent can go with the flow enough to help her chill out a little. Let's hope so. I'm as smart, I'm as beautiful. You is kind, you is important. What does it say? I like Brianna and Vincent. He seems genuine and she seems willing to compromise, but she is bossy.
Go ahead.
You just gonna hit the computer with your shoe? I just put that on your foot.
She just took it off.
Obviously. I didn't even get the other one on. I just put the one on.
Okay.
Ryan is not going anywhere. Claire would have to show some serious character flaws. Agreed.
The ladder every time.
Kissing is more important than sex
More
to
intimate.
Paige. Oh, intimate.
You talking about me, man.
What am I going through tonight? I'm not tired. I have a lot of work to do tonight. I'm definitely not tired. Kissing is more intimate than sex to Paige. She even said that herself. So yes, he could smash and not kiss. I thought she was going to do something different when they started twisting her hair down and sewing this hair in, and then it wasn't different. Bree ain't compromising nothing. As soon as she finds out Vincent makes less than her, she gone. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. Maybe she'll help him be able to focus more on one thing and, give him a little bit of direction in making more money. The grandma scene with Brianna and Vincent was a step in the right direction.
Oh, for sure.
It absolutely was.
For sure.
But Cliff, I do agree with you on Brianna being more into looks than Chris. She said it 50 times. She did. She just happened to be pleased with how her husband looked. Chris's mother strikes me as a beaten down woman. She was on Twitter acting a fool, calling everybody ugly and asking them were they Jennifer Lopez or Beyonce or Morris Chestnut, and if they weren't, they need to shut up. It was a good 10 minutes of my day scrolling through.
That's too funny.
I love when Vince first seen Brie. Those are the moments I watch the show. She let her hair down. She was the best looking bride hands down. I loved her dress. Her dress was like
Who they talking
Brianna.
Oh.
It had the slip. It had pockets. I wish my wedding dress would have had pockets. Monique, we're not talking about how Paige feels. We're talking about Chris. Cliff is team Chris. That's all I got.
I think Cliff is thinking of it logically from a man's point of view. And if it's right or wrong, it's what's happening. So I get it. I get where Cliff is coming from, but I think for me, it's Chris rubbed me the wrong way, and that's the first impression that I got from
it. Chris is on ignore. Which say, please don't make me talk about Chris's mom.
Don't talk about the man, mom.
I mean, his mom was just a lot. Brianna is very upfront about what she wants. I think the difference between Chris and Brianna with being upfront about what they want is that Brianna got what she wants, and we don't know if she would have acted the way that Chris did if she hadn't. We know she wouldn't have had sex with him if that was the case. No, Chris's parents are not together. She said on Twitter that they are divorced, and she made sure to put that in all caps. Although she spent a great deal of time defending the conversations that he had with Paige. Cliff was saying Michael and Brandon too. We don't pay attention to him. I don't really remember a lot about Michael outside of the line about the finances part. Yeah, his parents aren't together. Oh yeah. There's a lot that she said to Paige, and there's a lot that she said to other people on the internet. Like she literally went to the Married at First Sight hashtag and was just responding to people's tweets on Wednesday night. So it was a lot. Well, she's not married to the dad, so she's married to somebody. So hopefully her current husband is a better person than the dad. I don't know. I think that he put the grandparents in the like on the show first because they are married and they have been married for a long time. But his parents not being together, I think he's more thinking about how it looks. So saying that I'm going to put my grandparents who've been married for, however many years. His grandmother was like, I think she said 16 when they got married. So over 50 years of marriage. So yeah, you would put those people on the show and say, hey, this is the type of stock that I come from. My people stay together. Yep, I couldn't believe it either. Which it could be definitely why they I still don't get why she was defending him, but the divorce thing, it's just like she saw something in him and she didn't want to be with it anymore, but she was definitely still allowing for other stuff. Chris takes no accountability for anything, a total manipulator. Where does a Christian learn to do that? I don't know. But everybody that says they're a Christian doesn't read their Bible or have their own relationship. It's just like an inherited religion. My parents are Christian, so I too am a Christian. That's how a lot of people look at it. Michael was the worst. It was the fact that he was deluded by his own lies and was never held accountable. He was playing on what he thought a man was. Who was the lady sitting next to Paige with the long black hair? Who was sitting next to Paige with long black hair? Oh, that was his aunt. I don't know whose sister, mom or dad. I'm assuming it was the mom's sister. Chris's mom asked a logical question. People don't like it because the question can hurt feelings. Let's not act like people don't drink at the bar and go home to a stranger. This is true.
Told you. Logic.
I would still feel a way that you insinuated
definitely
that your son had to be drunk to sleep with me.
Definitely.
Support is a word that I would use loosely because he also chose to be homeless. As a Christian woman, what do you think about Chris's mindset and how he navigates relationships? I don't personally like the way that he navigates relationships because it seems like he's not trying to take a time to heal or get through anything. It's almost like he's jumping from one thing to the next. It's like the TV show Sex and the City. It was this one episode where they said men are like cabs. You just have to catch them when their light is on. Chris's light is on for a wife. And so that showed by him having 2 engagements in the past, one being 3 months before he actually got married, and then him just jumping into marriage. It's just, I don't think that it's a good navigation with marriage, and I think that he needs to step back and figure out what it is about him that makes him feel like he needs to jump from relationship to relationship, because he's not taking time to get over a relationship or even tie up the loose ends of baggage from a relationship, because we see there's a baby. Married at First Sight puts this into some strange parameters because there's no other time in life that you will be marrying somebody that you've never met. Yeah, like I said in our last review, I don't talk to family members about sex, let alone my like mother and father-in-law, and I'm expecting the same thing of my husband. Like, we're not having conversations with each other's parents about having sex and what should be going on in our bedroom. I'm not into that. Season 10 was the Brandon and Taylor season, I think. Yeah, that was one of the initial ones that I sat down with Tommy to watch because he just kept saying, look at this, look at this. Because he got caught up. We've only been watching Married at First Sight since maybe like April or May.
Since COVID started.
Yeah, it's definitely been since the stay-at-home orders were issued back in March. And that was because he saw a YouTube video of Shanice and Jeffy, and he was like, what is this? So he started watching to get to figure out what they were talking about. And I wasn't watching that one with him. But we definitely were going back, and he would watch stuff and I would like walking in and out of the room during it. Chris apologized to Paige for his actions and everyone hates him. Karen made Miles out to be a sexual monster who she didn't feel safe around and she wasn't hated. I definitely did not like that. I said that multiple times. Like, I did not like the fact that she tried to make it seem like she wasn't safe and he was going to do something to her, because he wasn't. Because you come back in the next day and everything's cool. That's not cool at all.
No, Karen was hated.
Karen is definitely, she has definitely been villainized, and like even still now, there are a lot of people that are not trying to humanize Karen. I'm not saying that I'm one, but I'm not also going out of my way to see anything that Karen has to say. She says that a lot of it was editing, but we can't edit the words that came out of your mouth. Like, you spent a lot of time talking. She spent a lot of time talking about his masculinity and things like that, and I didn't like it. Karen's getting death threats. People still sliding in Miles' DMs. I could see that happening. I mean, people are always sliding in folks' DMs, and they're about to have been married for a year coming up, right?
Something like that.
Is it February or March when they got married? One of those two. They got married right before COVID.
Yeah.
So, at least, I think it was February was when they got married. It was shortly after Valentine's Day. I remember one time he discovered Married at First Sight. Personally, I think Chris's ex left him for his other friends he was sleeping with. He probably thought accepting the show would make her come back. He slipped up. Oh, I definitely could see that. Like, hey, I'm getting married to somebody else. You sure you don't want me? I'm not sure if this was mentioned before. I just tuned in. Someone said that there were glaring signs of his unconfirmed sexuality. He over-sexualizes women, and a perfect-looking wife equals a cover-up. I'm going to just be completely honest. He was also closely associated with All Nations Worship. That was actually what I was about to mention. That pastor don't sit well with me. And that's all I'm going to say. I ain't going to call him what I'm thinking, but it don't sit well with me. Neither did the pastor that was on the show either. You all should watch the first 6 seasons so that you can see it has evolved from the word when only a few people watch it.
I watched season 6.
What was season 6?
And season 5.
I watched Chicago, whatever season that was with Nate and Sheila.
That was
I know that was an earlier season. That was a single-digit season. Yeah. I do know that.
I'm not sure what season that was.
Karen wasn't hated for her actions. Was disliked, 2 different things. Matt and Chris are hated. I mean, Karen said she got death threats. Chris said he got death threats. I'm gonna say they one and the same with that. Miles is a mega simp for taking that disrespect from Karen. I got nothing to say on that one. February 15th. So yeah, they got married next.
Not next week. The day after Valentine's Day.
Is it next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, next Sunday. Because your birthday is Friday. So yeah, next Sunday is Valentine's Day. So the Monday after that they're gonna be their anniversary. So it came up fast. The milettes run deep. So there's a pastor from All Nations Worship something. His name is Pastor Matthew Stevenson, I think. He posted a picture of him and Chris on Instagram. And yeah, just go look at it. Let me see if I can find his name.
What's this for?
To look at the picture, the one that I showed you. It's called All Nations Worship Assembly, and the pastor's name is Matthew Stevenson. His Instagram name is Dr. Matthew Stevenson. And then Pastor Dwight was on the show. I have no idea what church he pastors at. I think Chris' sexuality is questionable too. I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that. He seems like he's overcompensating for something.
Y'all, Artika said that, and I was like, just don't bring it up.
I said it, and I told him I wasn't going to say it in our reviews because I'm leaving that alone. I saw the pic of the pastor as their conversation. There's just been discussion, of course, online in different forums and stuff about the pastor, but it just, yeah, I don't know. How much you get to say it like that? That is the pastor that said men were turning gay because women were letting their bodies go. Was he?
Yeah.
I've ignored his suggested videos on YouTube. I haven't seen any of his videos come up in my suggestions. But I'm also not going to watch them. But I did go to the church's Facebook page, and I don't know, I didn't like the vibe that I got from pictures on the church's Facebook page. Maybe I'm reading stuff into it, maybe I'm not, but I'm not the only person that has came up with that theory, and I just kind of let that go. The pastor, he just made a post with him and Chris that was basically saying, actually I can read to you what the caption said. It says, because at the end of the day, home is home. I've raised a few people that know what to do when they need to heal. He's been a part of ANWA for just under 8 years and traveled to nations with me. Everyone needs a safe space. I don't know what that means. I guess he's saying Chris needs a safe space from all the things that are coming at him with Married at First Sight commentary. But I also think that when you got on this show, you should have known that there could be some type of backlash. Even people that didn't inherently do anything wrong have received backlash. So it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, it is now 10 and we have been on here for 2 hours. So we're going to let y'all go. Hopefully we can do this again. You want to do this again next weekend?
Yeah, we can.
Next Friday. So we'll come back around and talk about whatever happens next week. Hopefully we can get a podcast episode up this week as well.
We're definitely going to get a podcast episode up this week.
I have a big day of recording for my other podcast that is about to launch on tomorrow. So we'll try to see if we can squeeze in an episode of August Love Story with that too.
Yep. And next Friday is my birthday too. So
I forgot it is Friday.
You guys have a party for me. And
be the biggest birthday party you've had in a while.
Right. You guys enjoy.
He did give me Tone vibes, but that's fine. I just didn't like the titles, which were related to single women. Also, that bleached hair wasn't encouraging. I'm gonna let that one go too. All right, y'all. It's been fun. I guess we will see you guys next week. Hopefully next week I can get everything set up where y'all can actually jump in with us to talk as well. I'm hoping that I can get that set up. This StreamYard was just a quick deal tonight.
Yeah.
All right, Lily, will you tell everybody bye-bye? All right, Lily says bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.